I think this might be the most human album Zach Bryan has ever made. Not the biggest, not the loudest, not the one chasing radio hits, but the one that feels like he finally sat down and faced his own life. Breakups that still sting, faith that's complicated, friendships that feel like home.
Because when I listened to With Heaven on Top, it didn't sound like an album. It felt like a journal.
Like something you were never meant to read but somehow got your hands on. Songs where he's talking to himself, talking to old lovers, talking to God. And the crazy part is this record doesn't feel sad. It feels at peace, like someone who finally stopped running and decided to sit with everything.
And that's why I think this might be one of his most important records of his entire career. Let's get into it.
When Zach Bryan first came onto the scene, it really felt like we were hearing rough acoustic tapes straight from his bedroom.
Whether it was Deanne, Elizabeth, or Quiet Heavy Dreams, you could just feel how raw everything was.
And even now, those projects still have absolute bangers like Heading South, Revival, and one of my personal favorites, November Air. But then something shifted. You started hearing more of that Oklahoma sound, full band energy, guitars, banjos, fiddle, and some steel.
It was kind of like the perfect mix between country, folk, Americana, a little bit of Western in there, and that was really American heartbreak in a nutshell.
That record still holds a personal place in my heart, and I know it does for a lot of people watching this too. Of course, that album gave us his mega hit, Something in the Orange. But it also showed us just how big Zach's world could get. Then he kept the momentum going with the Summertime Blues EP. Songs like Jamie with Charles Wesley Godwin and Motorcycle Drive-By felt like proof that this sound was only getting stronger.
After that, we got the self-titled record, and this is really where you see Zach step into that poetic songwriter role.
It leaned more into Americana and less straight up country, but it gave us massive moments. I Remember Everything with Casey Musgraves, Hey Driver with the War and Treaty. These songs were everywhere. Hey driver, I've been a rider. From there, you move into the Great American Bar scene. And to me, this album feels like Zach fully owning who he is as a writer.
You had some songs that reminded you of his earlier work, like American Nights or Purple Gas with Nolene Hoffman. But you even had a little bit more of that rock-driven Americana sound too.
He even featured Bruce Springsteen on Sandpaper, which still feels crazy to say out loud.
So now here we are, it's the beginning of 2026, and Zach Bryan just released With Heaven on Top.
So when this album dropped, Zach actually posted a statement that really sets the tone for everything we're about to hear. It gives us a look at where he was physically and mentally while making this record, and I think it makes the whole thing hit way harder once you read it. So this is what he said. With Heaven on Top is a collection of songs my band and me recorded across 3 different houses in Oklahoma this winter. The cool air kept us inside, staggering around each live take. I pray these all end up meaning as much to others as they mean to me. Songs are living things. They want to be free, and these freed me. I was in the throes for a long time, and the simple statement of heaven being above me got me through a lot. You can just picture that. Everyone's stuck inside, chasing live takes all night.
And just from that first opening statement, you could see how just personal this album was to him.
He says, the last 10 years, I have tried my best to share the human experience. I feel like I had lived all my 20s out on a very large, very lucky, and very unfair stage, but this one felt different. This one felt like recording music with my best friends again.
And that mindset says everything about this album. It's smaller in the best way, and it wasn't like he was just trying to make music because he had to. It was really because he wanted to again.
And then finally he says, I will always give my best and I'll always be willing. Thanks for listening, and I will see everyone on the road. And after reading that, you really hear it all over this record. It sounds warmer, more lived in, and way more intentional.
Okay, so let's get into what this album actually sounds like.
So the first track, With Heaven on Top, it isn't even a song. It's a poem, and if you skip it, you might miss the entire point of this record.
It's called Down Downstream, and from the very first line, Zach is just laying it all out for us.
The poem opens up with him buying a house in New York.
Bought a house from a man in New York. This house had 4 small apartments.
The guy that he bought the house from told Zach that he's seen everything in this house. He's seen children grow old and elderly people die in each little apartment that the house had in it. He took Zach around the corner and told him everything that had gone downstream from him.
Cold water of his life had gone up his back, down his front, and around his leg.
But then Zach goes on to say before the man could even drink any of it, it had already passed him by. But then Zach goes back to the house and he makes a fire on the floor and closes his eyes. And then before you know it, the memories flood Zach.
I imagine my dog Jack and me back home cutting through some Oklahoman landscape.
Zach starts to imagine just him and his dog in an Oklahoma landscape. Just the two of them by a creek bed. Naturally, his dog starts to chase something. And with being right beside the water, he starts to feel it all around him. He sees bits of his life go downstream.
They were just floating by, every woman I had ever loved and every man I had ever called a brother.
And that water isn't just a moment in the poem, it's life itself.
Every good and bad experience, every heartbreak, every failure, every triumph, every victory, it's all just flowing past him.
And in that flow, he's learning, he's observing, and most importantly, he's accepting.
But when he opens his eyes, the fire is engulfing him.
My eyes opened to a fire in that living room. The fire department came and
that fire is heartbreak, struggle, chaos, the intensity of everything that's happened, and yet the water is still moving. It puts the flames out. It carries the past along, and it reminds him that life keeps flowing. You can't stop it, and you can't control it. You just let it happen. And that's exactly what the album is about. From the very first poem, Zach is asking us to listen through that lens. The water of life flowing past you, shaping you, teaching you. The fire of heartbreak and turmoil is real, but it doesn't last forever. It's all part of the journey. This sets the stage for every song that follows, and as we move through with Heaven on Top, you're going to hear the same tension between chaos and calm, struggle and acceptance. Some songs burn with heartbreak, some flow with reflection, and some do both at the same time. By understanding downstream, you understand the rhythm of the record.
And I know that sounds kind of, I don't know, just rah-rah, like kind of like what the heck are you talking about? But again, if you listen to just that opening poem, you kind of just really see the fire and then the water just kind of clashing together. We got to categorize this album into 3 parts. We're going to do the water, the fire, and then kind of where they merge in the middle. So first, the water.
Right after that poem, the first actual song we get is Runny Eggs. And this song feels like Zach stepping into that water metaphor head first. He's kind of just rattling off these things that he wants to do, or maybe things he's already done. Like find a diner in the desert, eat some real runny eggs, tear down all the photos that are hung in my head. I'm gonna book me a flight to Pamplona, take a horn to the chest like I'm back in Oklahoma. It feels random at first, but it isn't. It feels like a man listing moments, experiences, and risks. And then you hear that little intro where he says he's not gonna run with the bulls. He's gonna jump on its back and ride it, and he might die.
Jump on the mother back and ride it.
And that line is kind of the whole point. Just live life, feel it, take the risk, just let life happen to you. The whole song is calm, it's easy, reflective, and after each section, that harmonica comes in like a breath. And then you get Airplane. And to me, this song feels like the brother to Runny Eggs. Same reflective energy, but a different season of life. Zach is looking back on a relationship. She's married now, that chapter's closed.
Married on a porch last June.
And the airplane in the song feels like more than just travel. It feels like life moving forward. New journeys, new seasons, accepting that what was is now gone.
I'm on an aeroplane.
He isn't bitter or really angry. It's kind of just acceptance in this song.
Then we get to Sundown Girls, which might be one of my favorites off the record.
Slowly hit the ground.
He sings, recall watching the sun out in London, slowly hit the ground, played out at Hyde Park, and the night stars slowly came around. First time in so long I'd seen lips sing along in the back of a crowd. And you can feel it. Zach had an unreal year playing shows in England, and this song feels like him sitting with those memories. The crowd and the lights, the nights you know you will never get back the same way again. And at the end of the song, he almost feels like he's just weeping, like he's overwhelmed by how special it all was. Not sad, just grateful for the moment. And that is water too, letting moments float by and appreciating them while you still can. Then you get All Good Things Past, and this one might be one of the most honest reflection of all.
Well, all good things pass.
Well, all good things pass, but there are better things ahead. Nostalgia has a way of looking better in your head. You'll turn around to see eyes brown shining in deep June. With all good things past, there's 10 in bloom. He's saying, yeah, not every moment was perfect, not every chapter was great, but some were. And then there's more coming. Life does not stop. The river keeps flowing.
Better things ahead.
And that is what the water section really is of this whole album. When you just accept that life doesn't stop with a bad breakup or a bad event in your life, there just might be something around the corner. And that's what the song Slicked Back sounds like off this record.
So cool.
This song just feels like Zach in love, and he just admires everything about this woman. You can also put this on with the windows down, and it just feels like a good road trip song in the summer.
In the world.
So yeah, it's not just about the good vibes. It's not just pretending everything was perfect. It's recognizing the joy, the heartbreak, the in-between moments, and still being at peace with all of it. But just like any river, eventually the current picks up, and that calm reflection starts to clash with something hotter, louder, and more painful. And that is where the fire part of this record really starts to show up.
So part 2 is the fire. We have to start with Skin.
How do tattoos take to your skin?
This is the moment where everything cracks open. You can't hear the song and not feel the weight behind it. And yeah, we're pretty much forced to assume this is about his ex-girlfriend. There's rumors that Zach got a tattoo for her early on in their relationship, and now it just kind of hits different.
Blade to my old tattoos.
He sings, I'm taking a blade to my old tattoos. I'm draining the blood between me and you. I'm taking a blade to my own skin, and I ain't never touching yours again.
That last line, it's freaking brutal.
I ain't never touching yours again. That's final, and that's heartbreak. That's someone drawing a line and bleeding while doing it. There's really no filter to it. Zach is just letting everything just all out.
I ain't never touching yours again.
Then you get Bad News, and this one feels like Zach turning his pain outward.
Bad news.
October hits and he starts posting snippets of this song, and it literally gets the attention of the Department of Homeland Security.
Later criticized Bad News directly.
I hope he understands how completely disrespectful that song is.
That alone tells you how powerful his voice really is right now. He sings, ICE is gonna come bust down your door, try to build a house no one builds no more, but I got a telephone, kids are all scared and all alone.
Getting all alone.
He's not holding back, he's just kind of frustrated and he's heartbroken over the state of America. It's him grieving what the country feels like it's becoming in his eyes.
Never red, white, and blue.
And the fire in this album isn't always just super aggressive, but sometimes it's just sadness and disappointment. And then there comes South and Pine.
Call a love of mine.
This one is quieter, but it still burns inside. You know those nights where you just can't sleep, where your brain just replays the end of a relationship?
All the good moments, all the fights, and what you could have done different, but you still miss them. This is what this song feels like to me.
On South and Pine.
And can we just talk about the horns on this album real quick, because there are horns everywhere, and on this track it's that easygoing trumpet, kind of has like this mute sound to it, and it floats throughout the song. It adds this nostalgic movie-like layer, but for those bigger band horn moments, check out Appetite or Dry Deserts. But in South and Pine he sings, but if you could see her now in her New York City gown, dancing with her heels on South and Pine. That is someone trying to move on, trying to accept it, but still stuck.
City gown.
Okay, and then we get to Cannonball.
At first, I didn't really know what the song was about. Was it about a relationship or was it about a friend? And after doing a lot of digging online, I think the song might just be about grief.
Real grief. Zach recalls Yosemite, road trips, inside jokes, his friend keeping God close, but still going all in at a casino.
Drunk days on back roads.
Just kind of small in between moments like that. And then this line punches you in the chest. They're using my muses to make fun of me, and your face up while your blood sucks from an ivy.
From ivy.
That's picturing someone in the hospital, maybe toward the end. And just when it hurts the most, Zach pulls you back into the memories. We spin it all in gasoline, PCH to Cannon Beach.
PCH to Cannon Beach.
Laid in the sand, and man, I have never seen something more beautiful than you and your cannonball. The trips and the laughter, being young, dumb, and free.
Cannonball could be his friend jumping into the water, or kind of the metaphor for Cannon Beach, or both.
And then this line, and I never thought it would be you. I always thought I'd beat you to the Golden Gates. Golden Gates, heaven, California, either way, it means the same thing. You never think it'll be them. You always think you've got more time. Fire is a loss. Fire's regret and realizing you don't control anything.
Cannon Beach alone.
All right, so real talk for a second. We are in the home studio right now where I do all of my editing in since moving to Nashville. But if you want to support this channel, and that would just mean really a ton to me, Marsh Wear clothing has supported us along the way. Really since the very beginning. We've loved working with them, and honestly, in every video you can see me wearing their clothes all the time. But check out a lot of the different hats that they have to offer, and that would be a great way to support us. I pretty much wear their clothes pretty much every single day at this point. They're just so comfortable, but they have a lot of hats and styles of hats that I really enjoy, kind of like this trucker type style, but this one is called a heritage hat with, you can see that picture on the front, which is pretty sick. But anyways, back to the video. And so the last chapter is the middle, just finding balance in between it all.
And we have to start with Always Willin'.
And this might be one of the strongest songs off the whole entire record, in my opinion.
First off, instrumentally, it just sounds different. Those strings paired with that acoustic guitar are so dang catchy. They wrap around each other perfectly. It feels old but kind of fresh at the same time. And lyrically, this might be one of the most powerful songs on the album. He sings, I know that I'm hell-bent and always will be. But at least God knows I'm always willin'. That's the whole song right there.
Zach admitting that he's flawed, that he's not perfect, he messes up, but he still is trying.
And then he flips the whole idea of God on its head. God isn't some man with a two-piece suit who's just too good for us or too good to help us. He's a miner covered in soot. He sings, he'll come find you wherever it's time. Your soul's like an old Kentucky coal mine. And that's really such a beautiful way to say it. God meets you where you are, in the dark, in the mess, all the deepest parts of yourself. He's not waiting for you to clean up. He's coming down into the mine with you.
And those old-timey background vocals are just great. And his voice at the end and his vocal delivery, he just goes all out.
It fits the middle section perfectly because life has a duality to it. You know, hell-bent, but always willing. Trying your best, messing up, getting back up, and that is real life. Then we move to Anyways. This feels like he's climbing out of the fire and slowly walking back toward the water. Zach paints this scene with a friend or a lover, someone who actually sees him. He sings, you looked me in the eyes last summer, said you hate all the pain I'm under. Told me to play your favorite cover of Between the Bars. Been feeling empty lately. I want to go and see the sea, but I don't got the gasoline to get that far. He's tired, he's burnt out, wants escape, and doesn't know how to get there. And then the other voice steps in. You can't stop now. I've seen that dreamer in your eyes. Saw you back when you played West Virginia when you were too scared to go on stage, but you played anyway. That's powerful. That's someone reminding you who you are, who you used to be, and who you still are.
And I have a feeling that this song kind of fits the timeline to when Zach played in Huntington, West Virginia at Marshall University's football stadium.
We're having it all.
This song's about having people in your corner and those who don't let you quit. The ones who see your potential even when you don't. And this is a crazy one. Deanne's Denim. This one is nuanced, but man, it's beautifully written. Zach plays with the word jeans and jeans in such a clever way. family traits, family cycles. Then the chorus hits. Well, time changes, all you'll see. Did you become what your mama wanted you to be?
Wanted you to be.
And are you strong enough to stay away from family genes? Cause Deanne's denim was a stubborn thing.
Stubborn thing.
You might know this by now, but Deanne is his mom. He's asking himself real questions. Did I turn into what I was supposed to be? Can I break the cycles I grew up around? In that last line, cleaned out the closet, found some closure when I threw those old blue jeans on the floor. I don't know, that kind of feels symbolic to me, letting go or growing up, maybe even walking away from old habits like alcohol, old patterns, old versions of himself.
Blue jeans on the floor.
I love this song because he doesn't pretend like he has it all figured out. He just opens up and gets honest. And honestly, I'd love to hear what you guys think about this one. Drop your theories in the comments. This last section, it's growth, it's support, it's faith, it's self-reflection, it's balance. It's where these two meet in between. So to bring up throwing those blue jeans on the floor or giving up toxic traits, Zach basically opened up about the lowest point he's ever been in mentally in an Instagram post about 2 months ago. And I really do think it helps understand the album even better. He talks about going on this 20-day motorcycle trip across the country, trying to find some sort of answer to this madness he was in. And at the end of it, he's sitting alone in a parking lot in Seattle, realizing, I really need help. He explains how being in the military for a decade and then suddenly being thrown into fame messed with him more than what he expected. He grew up with the mindset of never showing weakness, always pushing forward, never settling, but inside he was stuck in this constant feeling of discontent. And he's really honest about his relationship with alcohol. He says he wasn't drinking because he liked it, but because he felt like he had this black hole inside him that he was trying to fill. I mean, at the same time, his life was chaos. All this stuff online, all the news cycles he was getting thrown into. You know, he was helping a close friend through a mental breakdown. Another best friend was put in a coma from a motorcycle accident, touring nonstop, sometimes 6 nights a week. He admits that he was having brutal panic attacks, paralyzing anxiety, and even though he had money, success, great friends, he still thought he should just tough it out. But he finally made the decision to get help. He found a therapist, he chose to confront his toxic relationship with booze, and how he handles major life changes. He says he hadn't touched alcohol for nearly 2 months at the time of posting this, just for kind of clarity. It all made him realize he had to take care of himself, not just for him, but for the people he loves. Also, there's songs on this record that are just straight up freaking sweet, and we didn't really go into them that much. Songs like Say Why, Santa Fe, and Rivers and Creeks is super interesting and Springsteen-like. Overall, this album feels and sounds intentional, poetic, Zach Bryan Americana, with a lot of horns.
So overall, what do I give this album? I mean, I would probably, I don't know if it's my very absolute favorite record that he's ever done. Right now, I would give it a 7.5 just because of its poetic nature and the lyricism in it is really cool, it's really great. Instrumentally, it's pretty good too, but I feel like I'm drawn more toward still that 2021, 2022 era of Zach Bryan when you kind of had more of the sounds off of American Heartbreak. I know I'm kind of just being, I guess, simple, I guess, if you want to call it that. But yeah, I would give this album 7.5 out of 10. I can appreciate what he's doing and it sounds really good. Is there a lot of songs that I'll go back to and play like nonstop, kind of like how I did with some of his earlier stuff? Maybe not, but there are some off this record, like Always Will, and that I really enjoy that I know I will go back to. I think it's a solid record that he should be very proud of and that it's going to be a classic in his discography. I think I do like this album better than the last one he put out in 2024, I believe. So I mean, what do you guys think? Is this one of your all-time favorites by Zach? Let me know your favorite song off this record in the comments below. And again, I'd appreciate it if you like this video, if you're a fan of Zach, and subscribe. My dream is to get to 100K by the end of this year. But that's all I have for you guys today. I'll see you in my next one. Take care.